Okay, we're live. This episode is going to be a little different because I'm not directly talking about health, nutrition, or fitness. This relates more into the live happy aspect of my site's slogan. I want to talk about expertise and success, and in doing so, kind of explain why I decided to do this blog, this website, this book, everything I do. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I study nutrition for fun, and I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about it, but I'm probably not in the top 1/10 of 1% of the world. But I'm still in, let's say, the top 5%. And then I go and I write it up. And I'm not in the top 1% of writers in the world, but maybe I'm in the top 10%. Maybe, probably not. Probably lower than that. But what happens when you combine those two things is you take the 10% times the 5%, you get 0.1 times 0.05, and you end up with 0.005. So it ends up with you're in a much smaller competitive area. And so what I've been thinking because of that is basically that most success in the future, as automation continues to become more and more of a driving force, is going to be driven by knowledge in intersecting niches. Now, the other point that comes from this is it requires a lesser need to enter the ultra specialization, the top 1%, the top 0.1%, the very tiniest maximum is not your goal anymore. You want to get high enough that combined with your skills in other niches, you're competing in a smaller area. Because remember, these values multiply as they become smaller because they're decimals. So basically, let's say you want to be a venture capitalist. You're going to have some knowledge in finance, some knowledge specifically about startups, some knowledge about some very specific niche. So you have some knowledge about artificial intelligence. And let's say you're top 5% in each of those. You take 0.05 times 0.05 times 0.05, and you end up with this incredibly tiny percentage. And that's the percentage of the population you're competing with now. And so the other thing we need to consider when we're looking at this is the graph of the point of diminishing returns. So when you're learning something, at the very beginning, you're learning it quickly, and it starts to level out. And then to get that slight little bit of extra knowledge, it takes increasingly more and more effort. But to get to a very reasonable point, to get to a point near that very peak, requires significantly less. And so if we optimize for a large number of niches, getting to that point where we're close to the top but not all the way there, you end up with this intersectional knowledge that overall makes you a more competitive and more successful person. Now, since this is a scientific, so basically that's why I started this blog, because I'm not the best writer. I'm not probably the most knowledgeable about nutrition. I do this vlog even though I don't have the best face for it or the best voice for it. Same with the podcast, but I think I'm good enough in enough areas that my skills intersect enough that then I become competitive. And so that's just a thought I've been thinking. I figured I'd share it with you guys because I had nothing else to do tonight. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know if you want to hear more of this kind of video where I'm discussing more of my kind of mindset on it. I may need to move it to a different channel or something because it doesn't super well fit here, but I wanted to just go for it tonight. So let me know what you're thinking. Thank you guys.